My mom and dad were ruining Christmas. So I wrote a letter to Santa. Mom and dad had been hinting at a Christmas surprise for weeks. Something for the whole family, Dad kept saying. When Christmas finally arrived, I could hardly contain my excitement. "Okay, buddy," Dad said, his smile wide as Mom stood beside him, grinning. "Are you ready for your surprise?" I nodded eagerly, bouncing on my heels. "We're having a baby!" they announced in unison. I tried to be happy for them, but things only got worse from there. As the months passed, my little sister, Sarah, became the center of their world. Mom and Dad had less and less time for me. I wanted to be a good big brother, but Sarah was impossible. She was loud, she never slept, and she constantly demanded their attention. By the time Christmas rolled around again, I felt like I didn't even exist to them. All they cared about was Sarah. I couldn't take it anymore, so I wrote a letter to Santa. "Dear Santa, I wanted a new bike this year, but what I really want is Christmas like it was before my baby sister. Love, Billy." It felt silly, but at least it helped me get my feelings out. That night, as I climbed into bed, I felt something odd under my pillow. To my surprise, it was a reply. "Dear Billy, thank you for your letter. A new baby is always tough, but you're a good boy. Tell me more about her. Love, Santa." So I did. Every morning I wrote him another letter. I told him everything. How Mom forgot my birthday because Sarah got sick. How Dad didn't have time to play with me anymore. Each night I found a reply under my pillow. It felt like Santa understood me. He was the only one who listened. Eventually I told him the truth. I told him I hated her. On Christmas Eve, I found another letter tucked under my pillow. Santa said he had a surprise for me. "Dear Billy, I'm so sorry to hear about Mom selling your toy trains, and all to buy silly old diapers. I promise tomorrow will be the best Christmas you've ever had." I could hardly sleep, imagining what Santa had planned. But Christmas morning began with a blood-curdling scream. Mom and Dad ran through the house in a panic. Sarah was gone, taken from her crib during the night. The day passed in a blur. Policemen came and asked me endless questions. Mom held my hand tightly, her face pale and tear-streaked. I shook my head at every question. I hadn't seen anything. I hadn't heard anything. That night, Dad tucked me into bed. His eyes were red, his face hollow. Once he left, I reached into my pillowcase and found another letter, along with a small red box. "Dear Billy, I'm sorry I lied. Santa doesn't read letters, but I do. And I kept my promise. I hope you enjoy your present." I opened the box and nearly dropped it in horror. Inside were 2 tiny fingers wrapped in bloody tinsel. The smell of rot hit me and my stomach turned. I glanced back at the letter. This time it wasn't signed Santa. It was signed with a name I'd never seen before. Love, Krampus.